Today I'm going to draw a dungeon using a software specifically made for this called Dungeondraft. Now this is something new for me. In the past, I used to just use paper and pencil. I'd draw dungeons. I'd spend hours and hours. They didn't look very good, but who cared? The players never saw them. They were always behind the screen, right? The players had to create their drawings as we went along. Later on, I utilized maps I found from modules or magazines or whatever, repurposed them. And then when we had a battle, we just drew it out on first a piece of paper and then later a battle map with a grease pencil. We just drew it out and had the battle. But now I'm playing online. And not only are the maps of the dungeons and outdoor areas and whatnot given to the players in the online format, but when you have a battle, you're also using that with tokens and movement and grids. And what I found is trying to repurpose maps or draw them myself can be kind of difficult. So I've decided, I looked through, I went and reviewed some, and I decided to spend $20 and get Dungeondraft. Yes, even the oldest dog can learn one new trick. Hey all, this is KR King, and this is my YouTube channel dedicated to helping you homebrew a campaign. Today I'm going to make a tomb using this Dungeondraft software. I'm purposely making this small. The idea originally when I had this was to use some of the concepts that I've gone over in other videos, which I still will. But there's something new here because of this software. I've had it for 3 days. I am not a power user yet, but I thought, well, neither will be anyone else who gets it, so you get a chance to see how much you can pick up in 3 days. I'm not going to go into the background of the tomb or how the players find it. It's going to take too much time. I just want to say, here's a blank sheet. Here are my ideas about building a dungeon like this, 4 chambers, how the players are going to come in and see things, where you're going to create obstacles and whatnot. And so for this, to get the full screen, I'm going to be fully immersed, so I'll see you on the outside. Okay, so when the software comes up, first thing we do is we set our map size. We have 40 or 50-inch TV. Notice how the tiles change here. You also can do paper if for some reason you want to make a map that you're going to print off or whatever. Not that useful for digital stuff. You can also play with these tiles, set up any kind of strange thing. You can also add, later on, you can add to an existing map. Although once you do that, you can't go back again, so you've got to be sure to save. So I'm going to go with the 40-inch size for this example. So it loads up the control, and you hit the scroll key on your mouse, and it'll zoom up. So here's our map size. I'm going to use 5-foot squares. And it's very simple to draw in Dungeondraft. You go to building tool like this. It shows your floor. I'm going to use cobblestone, your wall size. And notice when you put your mouse over it here, it shows you, wood or whatever if you're doing another kind of structure. Down here in the wall, I'm going to pick stone. And it defaults, you either have rectangle, you can do circle, or you can do any kind of shape you want just by tracing the points. So I'm going to make my first big room. This is where the characters are going to come in to this tomb through these stairs. When it's discovered, the first thing they're going to see. So this is how it draws it. Scroll up, you see there's the walls. And I'm looking at this, and it's not symmetrical, and also I think I want it to be a little bit bigger. All I have to do is Control Z, it goes away. I'll draw it again here, like this. But now I don't have enough room here for my stairs. There's another way you can do this right here, Edit Points. See how it highlights the points? You can also add points if you choose to. But I'm going to Control Z that. If I drag that point over, right, now I have more room, let's say, for my steps. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to go like this. Give myself a little more room here, like so. There you go. So that's going to be my main. I'm going to have a series of steps that come here into this, my main chamber, then I'm going to go out from here. So now with this chamber, I'm going to add using this feature. I'm going to add some little alcoves here. I saw this years ago in Europe. A lot of churches have a little alcove where for people that were buried, and you go like that, and boom. And notice how it creates that. And then I'm going to come down and do one here, make this symmetrical. I like symmetry in the buildings. Some people like to just have, I just think that's the way they would be done. Then I'm going to add a little feature up here, I think, just to give it a little thing in this alcove, a little like a radius. Now to do this radius feature, pick a corner, Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So again, pick a corner. Now I'm thinking all the time here about what the characters are going to come in and they're going to confront something. The various guardians of this tomb, constructs, gargoyles, or golems, or whatever it is that's in here after all this time. So I want to give them areas to be covered and things like that. So I'm going to make little alcoves like so. And now I don't want to see how that one. I want to have those symmetrical. So then I'll put little pillars there, and I'll put stuff. I'm also going to cover these with, I think, let's see. This right here is like a portico, a see-through doorway. So I'm going to go up in here and go like this from here to here. But notice, oh, it's not letting me. It's highlighting. And again, when you do doors, this is what happens. So if you say not anchored right here, freestanding, there you go. And these are going to be see-through, and I'm going to have those locked. Oops, I accidentally rotated that. You can rotate it with it. All right. So now I'm going to do some, I was going to lay the whole thing up, but I think I'll do the construction right now of the object. So right here is your object tool. You go up to your object, and you hit tags. This way you can organize this. Otherwise, you got to scroll through everything. So I'm going to say, give me some pillars. And I scroll down, I pick pillar, and it shows me all these different kinds. So for this example, I'm going to pick this one, come over here. If I want to increase the size, I press Alt and my scroll on my mouse, or you can just pick over here if you want. But I like doing it on the screen. All right, and I'm going to put a pillar, say there, and there, and maybe one in between now. Oh, but see, I'm not even. Oh, right there. Okay. Is that even? No. See, now what you can do is you go over here to this whenever you're, and you go like that. You can move it when it has that little square thing. I can go like that. Pick that one. Move it up. Okay. So now I've got these positioned. I'm going to put little pillars again. The object tool. I go here. I look at these. I'm going to have. What does this look like? And again, I can Alt and make it down. Yeah, and these won't go to the ceiling. I'm going to have gargoyles, I think, sitting on there. Again, modify. Oh, it won't let you. Back one, object. Statues down here, right there. I'm going to have a statue here. And I'm going to make that a little bigger. Zoom in with control. Good. Down here. In order to rotate, I just do the mouse roll. You can also rotate up with your over here, what I like to use. All right, so that room is completed. Now I just have to branch off. And I'm going to make stairs going up this way. This is where you're going to enter, and this way down into the actual tomb. Now, when you create a shape, let's say this is going to be the stairs, 20 feet wide. Notice how it breaks this off. You can put doors in here, freestanding doors, as I did when you go, if they're freestanding right here, you can just put a door in there, okay? But I don't necessarily want to have this tile in here. It doesn't really matter. You can go over it. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm just going to make walls, freestanding walls. So in order to do that, I pick the area that I want, which is right here. And once I get there, right click here, right click. And I get to I got to anchor those. But I look at this, wait a second, here's the handle. If I want to be accurate, I'm going to say rotate those. Now, I've got the handles there. Again, an aesthetic thing, but I just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have some stairs going down. Now, the rule on stairs, I'm going to go down 10 feet, so that's 15 feet of length on the stairs. Then I'm going to add a little landing on either side So that's 25 feet. So I have my wall 5, 10, 15, 25. 5, 10, 15, 25. Okay. And I'm going to leave that open for now. I'm going to put stairs in there. In order to do those stairs, again, we go back to Object. Just come down here to Stairs. We have a whole variety to choose from. I'm just going to pick these stone stairs. Look at it, it's a little bit large here, but you can just Alt like this. I'm going to rotate that. All right. And I'm going to go like there. I got those stairs here, a landing here, and a landing, well, let's see here. There. All right, so now I got stairs going down from the chamber where the players first find this tomb. I've got this room. So now we're going to go and do our main room of the chamber. We go back to build. Let's see here. I'm going to have it the same size, but maybe a little bit bigger. It is the main room. Boom. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to have my main guy that was buried here. How do I symbolize him without having just some giant sarcophagus? Well, what I'm going to do, I think, is have a big circular thing. So that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to have little ones up here. Like so. I like symmetry. It's just the way I am. All right. And then I'm going to do a little feature here just to make this room a little unique. I'm going to add radiuses on the corners here. And how you can do that, if you just do the wall thing, if you just try to create it like this, see, it didn't go. And if you come out like this, it's not, I just want a radius there. There's an easy way to do that. Edit points. You can make points anywhere along here. So I'm just going to make one there, and then when you grab a point, you can move it any way you want. So I'll move it like that. Now when I do my radius, it creates it. So it's kind of a cool feature. I just think it looks a little better, so I'm going to do that real quick here. All right, now I got this central room. I want to put my doorways on here. And I'm going to have those the other way. Flip. Because I think they would open. You're not going to open from the inside of the tomb, right? Okay. And then they flip the other way. Again. Okay. So now I have doors here and here. And obviously these are going to be trapped, and I might have traps in this stairway, all sorts of stuff once I populate. But right now I'm just drawing. Okay. So I got my main chamber here. I want to populate this again with objects. And okay, so I'm going to have another, let's see, statue. Let's have this guy, and I'm going to make this really big. You know, he is greeting the people who dared enter his tomb. And then his flunkies here, they of course get much smaller statues. All right. All right. Now we're going to use our pillars because again, we're thinking always about, just like we did up here with pillars, cover and stuff, right? So I'm going to make this even more because I'm going to have all sorts of creatures in here. I think, you know, skeletons, undead, something like that. So I want to create something where, how does that look? You know, this ceiling was heavy. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So obviously I've got to move this around. So let's see here. So right when you look in, I don't think you see, here's the thing. You would look at his eminence himself. They would be like this. All right. Now I'm going to add some sarcophagi, right? So this is our main guy here, adequately huge. And then we're going to have our little flunkies who are going to be out here. So now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I wonder if I should edit this slightly so that I can put this statue in. Maybe I'll just make this statue a little bit smaller. These guys, after all, are just underlings. All right. And if I want to make sure that those two are the same size, I can just delete that, copy that, paste, and move it, zoom up, so I get my move key, and move that into place. Now I can place my grave. Make that smaller. So next I'm going to have some secret chambers. Every tomb should, right? Now what you'll notice is you can create in this, let's say I do edit and I go like this and this and this and this, just something really basic. Oh no, I don't want that to be seen. So I'll just put a wall there, right? The problem I see is when the players come and they look at this, if they're looking closely, once they start to see that these are secret doors, they're going to always notice this little aspect of this shape. They won't be able to see beyond this with line of sight, but they'll be able to see that. I'm going to Control Z. So instead of that, I'm going to use the wall feature to create this. Like so. And maybe I will make that a little bit bigger so I can edit points, right? And I'm going to drag that, let's see. Maybe like that, something a little uneven or weird or something. Yeah. There we go. And I'll make it bigger. All right. So that's going to be my... Now, in order to match the flooring, we go to Pattern. I pick this. I can draw a shape here and here. What you'll notice is there is a little slight different color. I've played with this color down here to create this. I can get it to sort of match, but then what happens when I'm starting to create other things, the colors get all off and you get patches and stuff. So I'm just sort of, until again, 3 days on this software, I'm just living with this. And then I am going to create a door here, freestanding. I'm going to rotate that. And of course, the door to the treasure chamber is going to be heavily trapped. So now I've got this. I'll just make this a secret door once I get into Fantasy Grounds or whatever. Objects here. You have, let's see, treasure objects. So, a chest here, whatever, piles of gold everywhere, whatever, however you want to do that. Again, I've just had this 3 days, but I'm going to be getting more objects. I'm researching and doing that to get more assets for the object library. But all right, and then I've got this area over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cavern section. The reason I like this is it's great feature, and also it connects things potentially to an outside world, although there'll be a secret door covering that. So I'm going to make these steps, and I'm going to have stone walls, landing, and 10, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to open this up into a cavern. The cavern feature on this is just great. And we go to this cavern. It uses a brush, okay? And all you got to do, like that, and it creates the walls. And then you can add to it. And if you press the Alt key, gets rid of it. Oops. Okay. So I want this to break out in here, and I want to have a cavern. I'm just going to Alt Z. Oop, didn't want to do that, so I'll go redo, redo. How am I going to do this? So I think I've got room down here. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to draw the outside of this like so. Now right now it's just a track, but I think that, and of course I can just increase my, all right, it's right on the edge of the map. If you don't like it, maybe you just, there. All right, and then we want to break out into this area here. So what we do is we zoom up. Oh, it's not broken. That's why we've got blast open, this feature here. Make this smaller. This creates a hole, okay? And again, if you want to play with this to try to make it as close as you, oops, I got that. Try to make it as close as you can. Well, let's just say that you're like this, okay? And you're like, huh, well, I don't like, I got wall out here. No problem. Go to your wall feature. Go to your edit points. We look at this. We want to get rid of these. We want to make some extra points on here. We turn our snap off. Go up here, and we just make a point, say, there and there. And then when we highlight this and delete it, it'll go right to there. All right. Now I'm going to put my stairs in there. Object, stairs. And I'm going to say, obviously, I've got to make those smaller. Alt, scroll, like so. Rotate that. And there you go, stairs. All right, so now I got stairs down in here. What do I want to do with this secret chamber? Well, I'm going to make a pool of water that connects it. It's a sacrificial pool used to worship their gods or something related to their religion. Okay, so I go to the water brush, which again is really great. Let's see if I can just find an area on the map here where I can play with this. The water brush, basically, you can just do this. And then if you want to get rid of it, Alt. And it's gone. Okay. What I'm going to do is you can also create a shape. So you can do a rectangle. Turn my snap on. Circle. Right? Which I think I'm going to do. So, no, I think it's logical that this would be back here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to turn the snap off, and I'm going to kind of go halfway like that. Okay. So now I got this pool, and it goes around a corner, which I kind of like. And then I will put another statue. And this, you start to run out kind of quickly here, so, but some kind of let's see. Welcome. Okay. And then I'm going to put some other things in here because maybe these are some of the workers that were left behind, right? Sacrificed before the god. And I'll just sort of scatter those. Let's see here. Got to have some cobwebs, right? So there you have your map. It's ready to be populated. So there is the tomb ready to be encountered by the players. I'm going to do the cave complex where they find the sealed up entrance to this tomb. I'm going to do storylines both in what's in front of this, in the cave entrance, and then the tomb itself. But that gives you an idea of how to construct something. Again, took 30 minutes or so. You might want to spend more time. I probably would, but it shows you what you can do in that time. You've got something that's ready for, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, whatever you're using. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If so, I'd love to hear your comments. Anyone who's using Dungeondraft or thinking about it. Again, I'm not paid by them or anything. I just bought the copy. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, my friends, please keep playing Dungeons and Dragons and tell somebody else about it.